Clay, you're an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. And as they say in Stoic, the obstacle is the way. And so if you let these pinheads get in your way, you're in trouble. Acta non verba is the motto of the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy at Kings Point, New York. I had appointments to Naval Academy and Kings Point Merchant Marine Academy. And Merchant Marine Academy's motto was acta non verba. In other words, don't listen to what a person says. Watch what they do. Clay, my honor to be on your show. And thank you for all you do. I hear the ripple effects from you are good ripple effects. You know what I mean? People rave about what they learn from you. So congratulations.
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of our company is MultiClean. We are a commercial janitorial service, and we serve the entire state of Oklahoma and Kansas and soon to be Arkansas. We have probably grown probably 5 times. We've added, I think when we first started with you, we had 60 to 65 employees. And now we have a little over 300 employees. Before we got involved with Thrive Time, we didn't really have any systems or processes in place. So I've probably been to, in 6-7 years, I've probably been to 12 to 13 business conferences. And amazingly, each time I go, I learn something new, and I'm so excited to bring it back and show the team about marketing and how to implement, how to help you guys implement the SEO. And the coaching is just great because there's accountability, and it's just a fantastic way to grow your company. Having a relationship with Thrive Time it's just been amazing for MultiClean. Oh my goodness, it frees me up because then I don't have to take a class on search engine optimization or learn marketing or shoot video. That's not what we do. What we do is commercial janitorial service. And you guys are the experts on marketing, and you teach me and hold my hand and show me how to do it right. And therefore, now my company is much, much larger.
Folks, on today's show, we're joined by a real client. He may look like a male model. He may look like a hologram, but he's a real person. He's a longtime client. He's a man that we consider to be a friend of the Thrive Time Show and a friend of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Kevin. Welcome onto the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
Clay, I'm doing great. Had a great Christmas holiday, and I'm glad to be here.
Okay, so first question, can you tell us what is your name, first and last name, and what's the name of your company, sir?
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of our company is MultiClean. We are a commercial janitorial service, and we serve the entire state of Oklahoma and Kansas and soon to be Arkansas.
And how long have we worked with you approximately at this point, sir?
It's been about 6-7 years.
Welcome back to the Mel K Show. My 2 favorite guys are with me today, Rob K and the great Clay Clark. How you doing, Clay?
I am fired up to be here with you. I actually was just saying to one of our staff members, I've talked to 2 people that are longtime Mel K listeners, one of which is very musically inclined, and he had no idea that there was a path to take your music skill set and turn it into a revenue producing thing. And the other lady happens to have a home cleaning service, and I believe she's still talking about it, but she may be coming out to our conference. And again, awesome. I think if people are watching these broadcasts, if you own a business or you want to, you really want to take notes, because we're going to walk you through proven plans, Mel, that work.
Right. And I want to say something right now about where we are in humanity. It's bigger than America. It is about humanity. We're at a big turning point, and we as individuals have to decide our own destiny and what we want from this life and put our dreams into action, take advantage of what is happening. There's a reshuffling of a lot of things going on, and Main Street will benefit. So if you have a small business and you don't know how to grow it, now is the time to get all your ducks in a row to have an amazing, amazing future. And when they talk about the golden age, Clay Clark is one person that has the ability to coach people to have their own golden age upcoming. So Clay, take it away. Let's talk about turning dreams, turning business ideas into action, and really taking control of your life and your sovereignty as a human being and as a person on this planet who can make a difference. So go ahead.
Well, I'll say this first thing before we get into this stack of stuff. I think a lot of times people, if you're looking for a personal trainer, you may be thinking, well, does this guy know what he's talking about? If you're looking for somebody to help you optimize your health, you might look at a guy like Sherwood and say, well, he looks like he's doing pretty well. I'll probably do that. And I think a lot of times the same thing goes for business consulting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up some irrefutable evidence that what we do, in fact, works. And if I can have you allow me to share, I know that typically by default, you have to protect yourself from people like me inadvertently sharing the wrong thing. But let me pull this up here. Okay, so here we go. These are 4 case studies. And for anybody who wants to see thousands of them, I would encourage you to go to thrivetimeshow.com, click on testimonials, and you're going to see thousands of case studies. You say, what's a case study? It's a real human on the real planet Earth who's grown their business by more than 3 times. That's what that is. There's 2,000 of them. Okay. So the first example I want to share with you, this is this lady named Kat. And Kat owns a company called Barbie Cookies. Now, her website looks great now, so I want everybody to forget that it looks great right now. But Kat came into my life, and she had this idea to turn her love of cookies into a viable, sustainable, financially prosperous, thriving business. The problem was Kat had just gotten divorced. The problem was she had no capital, little capital, and she was living above the attic of one of her friends. So her friend turned her garage into an attic, and she was living in the attic. And so Kat had a lot going on, and she shares her story multiple times. But this is Kat's story. I want you to see this is Kat Graham. We helped her grow her business, I believe, 8-fold. Listen to this, folks. Here we go. This year's now she's in my office, and we're comparing the ticket tape that comes out of the sales till. We're looking at we're comparing the tape year over year. Here we go. This year's sales for this week.
So this is the same week last year. Do you see the difference? Look.
Wait, I can't really tell. One is,
look.
Michael, can we just I want to get it. Jason, can you kind of pull this in maybe? Just so you can see it. Let's kind of pull it that way. Let's get the link. There we go. I can't tell without the link. It's hard to tell.
Okay.
So that's last year's sales.
Sales. And the total is a mere $4,711.73. Same week this year, 2015. The total is, read it, Michael.
$11,313.50.
Oh, boom. There it is. Now, this is Kat. And again, it was 2015, you say. That was 10 years ago. I've been doing the same thing for 20 years, okay? So this is like an old school testimony. Now, watch as she kind of talks a little bit more about it. Here we go. Awesome.
I baked from home for years as I was raising my children and teaching. And it was there that people continually said year after year, Kat, you really need to go into business. You should open a bakery. And I'm thinking, I don't have time to open a bakery. I'm raising 2 kids. I'm getting my master's degree. Not to mention, I know nothing about business. So here I am. I'm super thrilled. My little bakery is being built in Bixby and all is well. We move into the new bakery. The excitement is like over the top. And 3 weeks into it, my husband and I separate. Talk about a blow.
Anyway, and so we helped her get into a great spot financially. That's an example. And one more, and I want to unpack how we got there. This guy named Taylor Hall, he gives me a call, and I said, what do you do, sir? He says, I run the Tulsa Oilers professional hockey team. So we have a minor league team. This is the highest level you can get before you go to the NHL. And he says, could you help me fix my hockey team? I said, no problem, sir. So this is us at the first sellout in the history of the Tulsa Oilers. My wife and I are here. And this was, I want people to see this. So here we go. I'm at the game. It's the first time they've ever had a sellout, ever. And okay, here we go. Bird, they said it couldn't be done. They said you couldn't fill up the VOK Center. They said it wasn't possible. But yet, if you look, it appears to be full. Oh, we're making America boom again. Very full. Lots of marketing, courtesy of John Kelly and Devin and Darlin and this mind and this hat. So there it is. And that was 2016 that we worked with Taylor. And I want people to see this story real quick. This was 2016. So
working with the staff at Thrive, we had a record year. Our average attendance is higher than it's ever been. More sales, more attendance, more successes in business. They've really helped, us in many, many ways. Coaching your salespeople, PR, graphic design. It's been an amazing experience for us. My name is Taylor Hall. I'm the general manager of the Tulsa Oilers professional hockey team.
now we did the in-game entertainment. We did all the scoreboards, all the lights, all the promotions, the website, the social media, the ticketing, the sales, the call center, the PR, all of it. And so those are just two examples. One, I think, is very relatable for a lot of people. It's a cookie business. It's somebody who had a passion for something. And then the other one is maybe not as relatable. It's a professional hockey team. But I think in both scenarios, although they may be polar opposites, everybody out there can learn some stuff that we're going to teach on today's show, Mel.
Great.
No, I think what's interesting is those two examples in particular is one is, just an independent woman who, had a particular passion and skill. You turn that into business. The other one is a relatively large, institutional business that deals with, all these fans and the players and all the kind of the stuff that they have to sell and market. Two totally different things. But what you do is, and I've seen it firsthand, is that you lay out the formula and you help people, act and execute on proven, skills and policies that work.
And keep them accountable and keep them on track and help them see where it's working, where it's not working, swap out what's not working. And then, of course, no one's better at building like websites and leads and all of that than you. So let's talk about it.
Okay, so let's unpack it. So I'm gonna walk you through a case study of Barbie cookies. Okay, folks, if you're watching today's show and you own a business on the planet Earth or you want to, take notes. I'm walking you through the steps, 5 steps. There's 50 steps, but with the limited time we have, I'm gonna get into 5 big steps. So first thing is this just in. Humans on the planet Earth, use Google to find things.
Right.
What? This just in. Humans on the planet Earth use Google to find things. So when I was working with her, people couldn't find her. No one could find her. It didn't matter how motivated she was and how excited I was. Nobody could find her. So we had to develop a marketing plan. So if you're watching today's show, I want you to take notes. This is step one. Step one. Everybody out there, write down on a sheet of paper or type it out. Who are your ideal and likely buyers? Who are your ideal and likely buyers? Who are the people? Well, turns out soccer moms, PTA moms want to buy cookies for their kids, for the parties, moms. So then what we did, and we're starting with a blank sheet of paper. I'm starting with a blank sheet of paper. Everybody out there, we're all starting with a blank sheet of paper. And I'm going to take notes in an 18-point font so we can all see it. No passive aggressiveness here, okay? So step one, you define your ideal and likely buyers, okay? It doesn't mean that other people aren't also going to buy your cookies and soccer dads won't, but the ideal buyer is the soccer mom. So you figure out, okay, now you say, where do these people go? Like, where can we find these people? If I'm looking for soccer moms, where are the ideal and likely buyers going? Where are they going? Okay, where are they going? Where are they going? What? Where are they going? We found out this just in. They're using Google. Second, they're driving by a nice area in Tulsa. We call that South Tulsa. Okay. Third, we found out they're heavily involved in PTAs, private schools. These moms are involved with tennis practice. These moms are involved with teaching their kids how to ride a horse. They're doing private lessons. They're doing a tutoring thing. This is where the moms are. They are at the private schools. They're at the tennis lessons. They're at private. This is where they are. They're not at the gun show. Why? Because they're private school moms. They're home. They're moms. They're soccer moms. So I said, Kat, who are your ideal and likely buyers? She says, moms. Okay, great. So we said, okay, now where are they? She says, they're Google. They drive by this part of town and they go to these places. And I'm like, is it statistically probable that given our current reality by doing nothing, is it currently probable that anybody is going to even know we exist? And she says, no. So step one, You define your ideal and likely buyers. Step 2, you figure out where are they. All right. Now, step 3 is we're going to unpack all these, but you create a 3-legged marketing stool. You create a 3-legged marketing stool. And the reason why you do this is because most people can't remember a 17-step plan. Or a 42-step plan. Steve Jobs, who started Apple, maybe you like him, maybe you don't, but he said, co-founder of Apple, he said, simplicity scales and complexity fails. Simplicity scales, complexity fails. So the way we said, what we're going to do a search engine optimization campaign. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do signs and wonders. And then we're going to do what's called the Dream 100. And you say, well, how does that work? Okay, we'll get into that. So then step 4, okay, we had to optimize the brand. And step number 4, okay, is we had to introduce, these what we had to do. This is real stuff here. We had to introduce the core, repeatable, actionable processes. I call this the crap. The core, repeatable, actionable processes, the crap. This is what you do. So let's get into it. Okay, so how do we do it? We figured out who our ideal and likely buyers are. Who are they? Soccer moms. Where are they? Google. Nice parts of Tulsa, PTA, private schools, tennis. Blah. So step 3, we had to go ahead and execute a 3-legged marketing stool. So what we did is we said, what we're going to do is every single day, and I'm trying to teach somebody, this works for every industry all the time. So I'm giving you another example, okay? Papa Gallo's, you type in Satellite Beach Pizza, one of my longtime clients. They've grown by 8 times. Look at this, Satellite Beach Pizza. Boom, they come up top. Why do they come up top? Do they come up top because I'm a good guy? No. Do they come up top because they're good people? They come up top because we're diligently following a system. And you say, well, what is the system? Oh, esoteric wizard man of marketing. What we do is we go to the website and we need to go to the source code, okay? And I need to optimize all of this binary code, the zeros and ones, all the nerdy stuff, all the stuff that the Bill Gates and the Sam Altmans and all the Twitter people and the Silicon Valley people and all the people that make us crazy, all the stuff they talk about, this is the language. So line 31 of the code for this particular client was wrong. And it didn't matter how hard they worked. They were never going to come up top in Google. Why? Because line 31 was wrong. And line 32 is wrong. And line 33 is wrong. And Mel, I would argue that every client I've ever met ever, once I show this to them, they go, or they, wow. And they don't know how to do it. And that's why the Tulsa Oilers guy said, look, Clay, I'm going to come to one of your workshops. And this guy's taking notes. I mean, his book was like almost on fire. He's just sitting there taking notes. He's writing down every word. He comes up to me, true story. He comes up to me halfway through. He says, listen, can I just pay you guys to do that for me? So I'm telling your listeners, I'm going to teach you specifically how to do it at our workshops. But if you want us to do it, we charge $1,700 a month. And so Kat said to me, this is the cookie lady. She says, if I pay you $1,700 a month, that's less money than it costs me to even hire one minimum wage employee. How is it financially viable for you? And I said, well, we make a 20% profit. So I make $340 a month per client. But when you come in, we have like a fractional usage of our services. So we have multiple full-time web people, multiple full-time graphic design people, multiple full-time call scripters, multiple full-time. So she's like, so I have access to the whole team. And it's just $1,700. So now you're starting to see kind of how that works. So if you're out there today and Mel, you hear all this, it can seem overwhelming. And I would just keep going back to go to Thrive Time Show, join Tim Tebow, join myself, go to thrivetimeshow.com, join Eric Trump, join Mel K. Come see us at our in-person workshops. A, you're going to meet Mel K. B, you're going to meet Tim Tebow. C, you're going to meet Eric Trump. It's great. But when you come to the conference, we're going to teach you how to do it. And if you want someone to help you do it, we're going to come alongside you. And we're very analogous to like a personal trainer, Mel. So you know this, but Mel, you've gone through a great fitness journey. You know, it's like once you know what to do, you have to commit. And then you either have a coach or a mentor or an accountability partner, or you have a strong relationship with your journal or whatever that is. But it's about implementing, and we'll get more into that. But Mel, I know I just unpacked a lot. Is there anything else that I maybe, or a question or a follow-up question you have about what we covered so far?
Well, I think it's really important that people understand that all of this stuff is very overwhelming, and people get scared. They can't do it, or, fear is the problem that holds most people back. And I think the best thing about you is not only are you so enthusiastic when you meet with somebody and you see the vision immediately, but you kind of are great at like removing the emotion from it, removing the fear, removing the overwhelming, I can't do it. I'm not a business person. How can I scale my DJ company like you've done, or my medical practice, or whatever? It's the formula, and it's a formula that is bite sized. That's the difference, I think, between other people and what you do, and the full spectrum of everything that you can help people with really makes it takes the fear and turns it upside down and makes it enthusiasm. And I've seen you do it with dozens and dozens of people, including me and Rob. So, there's something to having a coach that takes any kind of fear or anxiety, swallows it down, and gives you back enthusiasm, excitement, action steps, and motivation. And from there, you're off and running. And you also have meetings. You don't let people, you are very much like, okay, we got to do this. We're going to meet at this time. This is what we're going to do. It's a big commitment of you to say, you know what, I'm going to do this and I'm going to help you. And the success speaks for itself.
I would also say that, it's really interesting when you go to your events, they're fun, they're engaging. You have all of the resources, all the books. You do it in bite sizes, so you actually teach people what you might be able to do for them, what they can do for themselves,
right?
And then so you inform them that these are the steps, and then they can evaluate independently. Say, look, certain parts of maybe I can do some of this, but for the cost that you offer, because you have the scale and you already have the machine
and
working,
the staff.
and a large staff of committed people of doing this, that they can for a very, very modest, and I agree, it's cheaper than a
minimum wage employee,
right?
Sitting there looking at your emails,
and then you're fully have a plan to scale your business, and you have the ability to do it,
and you have a huge staff that backs you up that you don't have to pay for.
And Clay doesn't.
It comes as part of the process,
and you don't sleep.
And Rob, this is the thing. I do go to bed at 9. I do wake up at 3. That is real. Yeah. So that is real. I will say this. This is a true story. I'm trying to ooze with confidence that you can do this in examples. I think there's a lot of charlatans out there that talk in circles. So this is a lady, true story, crazy story, but a real story. Her son was on Joe Rogan because he's an MMA fighter who overcame addiction. And so her son overcame addiction. And so I'm doing my conferences just like everybody else. I'm always at my conferences. I'm always shocked to attends. And I'm looking around and I'm like, I think that guy is the guy from Rogan, Justin Wren. And I see a woman next to him and I'm like, I bet that's his mom. So I go, hey, are you Justin Wren? He's like, I am. He's like, are you Clay Clark? I said, yeah. How'd you hear about me? He says, your podcast. And I'm going, interesting. So he reaches out to me and he's like, I said, what can I do to help you? He says, I have this thing called Fight for the Forgotten, and I'd really like it if you could help me. I'm trying to start this thing. It's a nonprofit, and if you could help me, and so you can kind of see some of the handiwork here. But he says, I'm trying to reach the world and share with them about this message. We're drilling wells for people in third world countries, and it'd mean the world to me if you could help me. Anyway, that's a separate success story. But the mom, I'm looking over there, I'm going, what do you do? And she says, I have a trophy company. I've been doing the trophy thing, the trophy game for about 30 years. And, I'm just kind of stuck. Right. Well, we helped this lady increase the size of her trophy company. She sells trophies to baseball teams and gymnastics teams. We've helped her grow 3 times larger. Wow. And so this is a real thing. So you say, well, how do you grow a company? How do I do it? Walk me through it. I'm telling you the specific brass tacks. Okay. So you define your ideal and likely buyer. So I'm talking to his mom now. So who are your buyers? She said, people that have a team. So like the head coach of the football team, the basketball team, the team, schools. Exactly. I said, okay, great. And where are they going? She says, schools, Google. Not so much drive-by traffic, but she said schools, Google, social media. So I said, okay, great. So we need to create a 3-legged marketing tool. Sounds familiar, folks. Sounds familiar. So we created a 3-legged marketing tool. Now for her business, we did search engine optimization. We did not do signs and wonders. What we did for her is we did video, testimonials, and Google testimonials. Why? Because nobody wants to buy a bunch of trophies for their kids that are misspelled, that are misshapen, that are wrong. So no matter what business you're in, you need a three-legged marketing stool, but hers was a little bit different. We made a change on hers based upon her industry, but it's the same principle. Now, before we had to optimize the brand, I said, Terry, your website, not hot. You, great job. Website, not hot. So we helped her optimize her site to show examples of her work. And here she had been doing great work for 30 years, but none of that was evidenced on the website. None of it could be verified on the website. No one could prove that she was real. So it would be like if I went to the Mel K show and I couldn't find other shows you had done.
Okay.
You go to the Mel K show. For people who are hearing the Mel K show for the first time, if you don't know, Mel has an incredible journey from Hollywood. You had success there. You've had success. You kind of know the who's who. You've worked with them. And then all of a sudden they see you interviewing Roseanne and they think you were born yesterday. They're like, oh, that lady was born yesterday. What they don't know is that you've had so many other people on your shows over time. And that's why when they go to your site, you do a good job of featuring your former guest appearances. You've been on Redacted. You've been on Jimmy Dore. You've been on the Roseanne. So people can now see, wow, this is evidence that this is the past behavior may be an indicator of the future behavior. So it's just so important. And I said to her, you got to do this. She says, I know, but I don't have a web guy. I don't have a photography guy. I don't have a search engine guy. I don't even know where I'd start. So that's your point. We break it into steps. I said, Terry, all I want you to do is go through your computer, your laptop, your Dropbox, your Google Drive, and just overwhelm me. Put it all in a folder and send it to me. Just throw it against the wall, and I shall sort it. I shall optimize it. You just get it out of your cranium, because if it's in your head, it's dead, right? So get it out of your head. Throw it against the wall. We'll take care of it. She said, well, okay. So we did that. Then she says, well, how am I going to get Google reviews? I said, you just give me a list of your former customers, or you'll do it yourself, and we can call every single former customer and ask them for objective reviews, or you can do it. Well, long story short, this woman triples the size of her company. And then you say, well, what does optimize my brand mean? Barbie Cookies is a very good example. And I shall begin to take credit in a way that may seem like I'm not humble, but here we go. Everything on her website we had to do. We made the logo. We made the packaging. We made the print pieces. We made the name. We helped name the cookies. We helped price the cookies. We helped design the website. We actually designed the website. Then when you go to her store, it's a physical store. And so people have never typically built a physical store. I do this all the time. I could kind of design a physical store in my sleep because I've done it so long. Right. And so what you have to do is somebody has to be intentional about what is the theme in there. So you go into the business and you might call it a vibe. On the Google Street View, they call it a vibe. But I'm just saying, what does it look like? The inside, the outside. What's it going to, the sights, the sounds, the smells, the energy. What's it going to look like inside? The packaging, the business cards, the logo, the videos, everything on this, the menu boards, the music, the playlist, the decor, all of this. We did all of it. The interior design, the exterior design, all of it. And so now what you see is a multi-million-dollar successful company. What most people don't know is go behind the curtain. And this is, so people see an actor or an actress like yourself, Mel, or a writer like yourself, and they go, man, that movie was good. And they just see the name pop on the screen for a minute with the credit. What they don't know is you're in a writing session, iterating on that thing for oftentimes months and years. Yeah. So again, what we're doing, I call it the messy middle, Mel. We're doing the stuff behind the stuff that moves the needle.
Cool. Well, I love it. And again, you make it really simple. It's for years I studied with a great acting coach that wrote a book called Dreams into Action. And it was all about, all the people that want to make it that don't work for it. And there was, it was pretty intense, but it was like every day there's things you can do. There's checklists to do. There's showing up. There's all of that. But what I realized a long time ago was that just taking action starts other actions from happening. And some people need that extra help. And like you're saying, people say, well, I don't know, I don't have a web designer. I don't have an optimizer. I don't have this. I don't have that. But simple actions of just making the call to have the consultation or just going to your event, that is the beginning, I believe, of dreams turning into action.
Yep.
You can't just look, like you said, it can't be in your head. If it's in your head, it's dead. I like that. but dreams have to be put into action or they're just dreams. They're not reality. And that's why I really love how you do this. And I mean, the amount of energy that you give people, it's contagious. You need not just a coach that gets you and gets your brand, but that also, motivates you, that stimulates you, that makes you want to do and be your best. And that's what I see you do for everyone that you coach.
Well, my father used to, I grew up really poor. So my goal was to hire my dad someday. So once I hired my dad and I had a very interesting working relationship. May he rest in peace. But my whole thing was when payroll needs to be done, I want it done 2 days before it's done. And I want to look at it and I want him to highlight any outliers. So somebody who's committing fraud or waste, highlight it. I want to look for deviations. So I want a spreadsheet of the payroll and I want you to highlight any deviations. And I remember these conversations, they were epic. Every Monday, he's like, why do you need it now? It's not due until Friday. And I'm going, Dad, life is not a dress rehearsal. And he said, what? I'm like, it's not. I mean, come on, let's go. And I mean, we would have this art because every Monday I'm coming in like the world's going to explode if I don't get those by 10 a.m. on Monday. And he was, a measured guy, very methodical, did a good job, but I'm coming in hot with it. And he's like, and over time he figured out like, you're coming in hot with everything. Like I'm in a meeting with somebody and I'm like, hey, I want that call script written by noon. And they're like, why noon? I'm like, because my head may explode if it's not done by noon. They're like, hours, get it done. Let's go. And so there's a certain urgency.
Yes.
And so you have to put that. I will tell you this, Vince Lombardi, who couldn't be here because he's dead, the Hall of Fame football coach, he once said that you have to be fired up with enthusiasm or you will be fired with enthusiasm. You've got to find some way to get going, to get off of stuck. There's somebody watching this. You're saying, who's he talking to? I'm talking to you. You got to get off stuck. Now, the final step I want to teach here with a limited time we have, so important for everyone to take notes. Note takers are game changers. Number 5 is you have to distill all of this into core, repeatable, actionable processes. And so people often say, Clay, I didn't know you've written 38 books. And I said, it's true. I go, I was on your website the other day, Clay, and I found out you've written like 100 songs. I go, that's true. And occasionally one of them will go viral, but it's not my main thing. You say, well, what is your main thing? My main thing is growing companies. And so I'm saying this because if you're not careful, you start downloading my books for free. You go to thrivetimeshow.com/free resources, and you start to go, this crazy guy's written more books than I've read. And you start to feel like inadequate, like you have to read them all or download them all, or like somehow you need to go read every motivational book there is or every systems book. But it's not about that. To your point, Mel, it's about taking actions. So I reduce it into the core, repeatable, actionable processes. So every week, this is the homework that Terry has to do now with her award trophy company. This is her homework every week, folks. If you want to know what's the homework, what does she have to do every week? What's the thing? Here it is. Okay. So every week I need her to gather VISMDGS. Her entire business. This is what it's like 4 hours a week of homework for her. I need her to get video reviews from real customers. I need her to gather images of real results, real products. I need her to write her search engine content every week. I need her to write, I need her to get more Google reviews every single week, more Google reviews from real people, more objective Google reviews. You're not going on Fiverr, more buying fake reviews. You're getting objective Google reviews. You got to get more objective Google reviews every week. You said, this guy's a bad typer. That's fine. But you got to do video reviews, images of real results, search engine content. You got to do it. And then she's got to do that Dream 100 where we reach out to the schools. And then every week she's got to interview people that may want to come work for her. And then every week she has to have a sales meeting to look at her numbers. And if she'll do that, she'll have success. And she's been doing it. She is doing it. And if you're watching today's show and you say, I want to become a success story, my challenge to you is this. 1, go to thrivetimeshow.com. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. Do it. thrivetimeshow.com. Challenge me. Will I do a free consultation with you? Will you reach out? We'll see. thrivetimeshow.com. But then use promo code MELK because that gives you a chance to win a backstage pass. And we only have 300 people in attendance, so you're going to have a really good chance to get in a backstage pass. And if someone says, I can't afford it, well, you can actually name your price. So how does that work? It's $250 or whatever price you can afford. And just this morning, I talked to one of your listeners who wants to buy a ticket. We'll talk to him tomorrow to see if he's going to do it because he has to travel to Tulsa from the East Coast. But he said, you said I could name my price. Can I ask how that works? I said, well, it's $250, sir, or whatever you want to pay. He says, well, I want to pay $250, but why do you do it that way? I said, well, there's somebody who needs a hand up. He's like, well, I don't need a hand up. I want to come. I want to pay the full price. And then that's the kind of people we deal with. That's the kind of people that watch your show. There are people that get it, but we also do a scholarship to help people in need. So everybody can afford to go. You say, when is it? ThriveTimeShow.com, Tim Tebow in June, Eric Trump in September. You say, why do I want to go? Well, Mel K is going to be there. So you can just wear earmuffs and not even listen to me and just talk to Mel the whole time. But Mel will be there in September. And again, those tickets are at ThriveTimeShow.com.
Great. So everyone go to thrivetimeshow.com. Consultation will honestly be so fun. I mean, Clay's the most fun guy with the most energy. I will say we recently had a film pitch that we invited Clay and Vanessa, and we all sat there. And Clay's writing notes the whole time, and me and the not to be named, but you'll soon know, other people and actors and stuff are sitting there, and everyone's thinking, what is Clay doing? And then all of a sudden we all get home and we have Clay send us everything that was said in the pitch, what our next steps are, who was involved, what their background is. I mean, he's a savant. We all laugh because Clay has this super gift, but I will tell you, it is contagious. And there is no way you can spend time with Clay or go to one of these conferences and not leave hitting the ground running. Everyone that does, we've done podcast conferences there. We've done Reawaken, conferences there. We've done things just to get together with people and motivate them to get involved locally. But his business conferences are game changers and life changers. And I hope to see you guys there. Please go to thrivetime.com. Tell him Mel K sent you. Anything else you want to say, Rob?
Nope. I'm just looking forward to getting back to Tulsa.
Yes, we love going to Clay Jerusalem. Last word for you, Clay.
Well, I just say, I've spoken to this week 2 of your longtime listeners.
Great.
And they're some of the nicest, kindest people. So again, if you're watching the Mel K show, if you could do me a quick favor, folks, if you can subscribe to the Mel K broadcast, like most of you, this is a statistical, true piece of information everyone needs to know. On the average podcast listener does not subscribe to their favorite podcast. And it doesn't matter what stats you look at. There's all different podcast stats you can go down, but it's typically 3 out of 4 people have not yet subscribed to their favorite podcast. 3 out of 4 people. And so if you're watching today's show and you say, I love the show, man, I want to give back. I'd like to do something that can make an impact. The best thing you can do right now is go to rumble.com and just subscribe to the podcast and then share the show with at least one person. And what that does is that allows Mel to reach more people. So if you're watching today's show, I know you're compassionate, hardworking people. You probably just haven't clicked the like or subscribe button. Go ahead and do that and then share this show with somebody. And Mel, I really do appreciate you guys.
We love you. And we look forward to Tulsa. I get something out of every one of your events. Every time we go, it's just new stuff. And I'm going home with Rob on the plane being like, we got to do this. We got to do that. So I'm excited to be there. I'm excited to see you guys there, and have a great day, Clay. No one gets me excited like you do. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Clay. We'll see you soon.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
4,000% from February to February. Now I can better that. Okay, Clay, I don't think you know this. I'm pinching myself, and if I cry, forgive me. In the last 2.5 days, we have bettered our entire month of February in the last 2.5 days. So, and the phone's blowing up. Everything's just blowing up. You're right. It is like a rocket ship. So we're pinching ourselves, actually.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York, acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
But I recognized at the age of 15, I'm going, you know what? I am not going to live that way. And so I started a company out of my parents' basement called djconnection.com. And I decided I am going to have success. And so I reached out to millionaires and people that I kind of knew through church and friendships and parents of my friends. And I said, what book would you recommend that I read? I'm a 15-year-old asking this question. True story. And I kept being told, you got to read.
Hello. Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Radio Show. It's an exciting time. Also, I think a treacherous time, a spooky time also. But it's always, danger is a good time. Today, my guest is Clay Clark, and I went out with Tom Wheelwright to visit Clay with Eric Trump also. And the reason I want to talk to Clay this morning is a very important subject called study. And the reason I say that is things are changing so fast, and many people are completely missing the show. You know, things are changing at rapid speed. Technology is changing. And so I went to Tulsa, well, again, with Tom Wheelwright and Eric Trump. And the thing I was so impressed about Clay is this word called study. I don't know, you guys must be in your water or something, Clay, but boy, I was so impressed how big you guys are. But what really impressed me was you have this huge congregation. They're all about guys your age. They're on fire. And you start your classes at 5 in the morning. Now, let me talk to you about study here. We show our books here. Now, this is how I study. You know, this is the creature from Jekyll Island. It's on the Fed. And Clay's doing the same thing. We study. So I go out to Clay's place in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He's built this huge compound out there. And you guys start at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's not by Zoom. They drive there. They show up 5 o'clock, bright-haired, bushy-tailed, and all this. And they're on fire. Your group is on fire. So that's what was on Clay, this technology. You tell your group I was so impressed because, like I said, studies became a bad word. I got into fights in my own company because our staff didn't want to study anymore. And I don't know how they cannot do that. So Clay, anyway, welcome to the Rich Dad Radio Show. That's what I want to talk to you about is how do you do it? 5 o'clock in the morning, you have hundreds of people showing up in your huge auditorium on your property to study. Anyway, welcome to the show, Clay, and what turns you on so much? That's what I want to know. Give us a little about your background.
My name is Karime Schofield, and the name of our company is Whistle While You Clean.
I am Sophia Schofield.
We live in Cincinnati, Ohio, and we service the tri-state, so Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana.
We were getting a phone call, and we were like, why is someone calling our business line? That's unusual, and we picked it up, and it was a lead.
I mean, it's been incredible, Clay. We've gone from 0 to like 100% growth. Like we're like a full functioning company. It's great. Like we're blown away at how well we're doing. So working with you guys have really taught us a lot about generating leads and pursuing our Dream 100. So we have a list of customers that we want to market to. And so we've been making phone calls, we've been showing up in person. We're trying to get near the businesses that they would visit if they were visiting like a hair salon or something. And then we start calling them and we just start pursuing them. And then the other thing that we do is when we do cleans, we take a lot of video testimonials and we post those to our website so other customers can see. And then we also upload a lot of images of the things that we do. And so we're also asking our clients for Google reviews after we've cleaned their houses. And so it's this constant like cycle of doing those things over and over and over again. I would say if you're on the fence, go to one of Clay's conferences. They are hilarious. They're fun. They're educational. They're so good that even my teenagers like them. And I would say don't let fear hold you back. If you want to start a business, do the obvious thing and hire someone who knows how to run businesses. If I wanted to get in shape, I'd hire a gym person, a personal trainer. This is like the personal training for business. It has been absolutely amazing. I mean, our coach is encouraging. When he first met with us, he said, do we want him to be like a drill sergeant with us? What level of intensity do we want him to give us? And I will say he is incredibly encouraging all the time. And he just hits the same mark with us every single time. It's very repetitive. But I think we both really learn a lot every time we sit down and have a conversation with him over the phone. He keeps pushing us to go further, and he can recognize when we're afraid to do something and he'll give us a little bit of grace, but that next week he's drilling us again, like pushing us to go harder. Our no-brainer offer is we are offering your first clean for $1. And that sounds absolutely insane. It even sounded insane when I was talking over it with our business coach. And I will tell you that that has generated some of our hugest clients. I mean, that has been like a game changer because it opened up the door to more clients, more recommendations, more leads. And we were surprised how far that dollar clean got us.
How important has it been for you to work out that scripting, even though you offer $1 for the first clean? How important has it been for you to nail that down?
It's been really important because it kind of it hones in so that you're not just all over the place when you're trying to explain what it is that you do. And a lot of times it's like you're a good person offering a good product and you have integrity and you want to communicate that. But when you go to communicate without a script or without practice, it's just like a mess coming out of your mouth, as opposed to having this, honed in practice where you know what you're going to say, you know how you're going to say it, and you can almost expect better results when you do it that way.
Had you ever been an entrepreneur before starting this particular business?
No, never.
Did you ever think about wanting to own your own business someday? Or what was the first time you thought, maybe I would like to open my own business?
Absolutely. I've probably been dreaming about it for about 10 years.
Okay. And let me go to your daughter here. Had you ever thought about wanting to team up and open your own business? Or was that something that you were maybe excited about or not so much?
Well, for me, my parents would always listen to your podcast and business podcast. And as I started listening to them, I started realizing that I wanted to own a business.
It's www.whistlewhileyouclean.com. Honestly, the hardest thing was getting over the fear. It was the fear of the unknown. There was like a cloud of doubt that, you can't do this, you're gonna fail. There was a few sleepless nights there when we did pull the trigger and join your team and start the coaching process. Even my husband put a little bit of pressure on me from time to time because it was just absolutely scary to take that jump and actually start a business.